The election of President Trump for the second term in the United States in November 2024 brought up new life in the United States. And before he was sworn in January, he already started making changes. Trump came up with over 60 executive orders. And one of the outstanding orders is that of the 90-day suspension of USAID. USAID is the United States Agency for International Development. USAID is known globally for supporting all kinds of things. We are now discovering that actually it also supports terrorism from what we've had. But it was available to the world as what you call soft power. The US, every advanced country that has got economic interests wants oil, they want iron ore, they want all kind of minerals to enable them fuel their economies. So they will go all the way to make sure that they are able to access these minerals. So you'll find that in the Middle East, for instance, the US wanted oil there, and it is reported that they entered the Middle East, they killed Gaddafi, they killed Saddam Hussein, they toppled Syria, the present Syria, just because they wanted oil in those countries. So it's interesting to see that the USAID, which has been giving money to a variety of people in Uganda for HIV/AIDS. Now, when you hear what it has been doing everywhere around the world, you understand that to be able to be number one as a country, you need lots of money and you need to do lots of things, including dirty things. But the debate on USAID funding to HIV persons living with HIV/AIDS in Uganda has raised controversy. Some people feel that this stoppage of aid is going to cause problems among the persons living with HIV/AIDS. And some people think that no, it's high time that Uganda woke up and started looking after its own patients. Well, for those who think that USAID stoppage of its funding will cause a problem in the economy, they have a view, a very important, interesting view, because they have been bringing money to buy drugs for the sick people, and of course, the people who get it feel good that they are either the pain is not as much, or they're curing whatever it is. But when you go into the details, you'll find that the USAID funds has been used to benefit, is reported, about 10 million people in the health sector. I think, to me, what Uganda needs to do is look at preventive medicine, if I use that word. Prevent people from falling sick rather than go to treat them. So our campaign, which is really an awareness campaign, should be more on be aware that if you do this, or if you don't do this, you're going to fall sick. So the 1.3, 1.4 million people who live with AIDS in Uganda, is it true that the Uganda government can look after them? It's not true. Uganda government can well look after these people. And of course, some of them are able to do. They don't need the Uganda government aid drugs. So to me, the USAID funding, the cutoff, is a good thing, in the sense that let's wake up and think. Why do we have to depend on donors for little and everything that we are doing? Why don't we work so that we can also generate our income? Why don't we think through, do research, be able to make breakthroughs in products so that we can also have something to sell in the world, and we are getting money from other people? Why don't we negotiate with the Western countries on a level playing ground for trade, so that we can be able to sell our goods to them and we get value out of them? Today, we don't get value out of coffee. We don't get value out of our minerals. Minerals are simply taken away because we have no use for them. So these are things that we must think about as a country, to see that this blessing brought by USAID, how do you fill the gap? How do you fill the gap? And of course, whenever somebody gives you aid, you become his servant, And I believe Uganda has become a servant of Western countries because, they give us all this kind of aid. And to me, I think it's important that we start thinking about how do we produce enough food for us to feed on, rather than wait for X to give us food to feed on. Thank you.